Our political insiders here in the studio, Mark Singel and Charlie Giroux. Guys, as always, thanks for joining us. A lot to talk about today.
A lot to talk about from Syria. Things are changing by the minute, actually. We were talking about changing by the hour, but first, let's talk about the late Republican Dick Hess, the chairman of the Transportation Committee. Charlie.
Very sadly, Pennsylvania and his family lost Dick Hess late last week to an infection that came as a result of some surgery that he had. He was laid to rest today. Dick was recently the chair of the House Transportation Committee, did a great job there, and a long-time public servant with a distinguished record to his community and to the Commonwealth, and a really great guy. Mark will tell you as well, across the aisle, somebody that everybody knew, loved, and enjoyed. He will be sorely missed.
I can't say it any better than that. He was a delightful human being, a great leader, and a down-to-earth guy. He was absolutely loved at home, and he was respected here in Harrisburg. And you know what? It doesn't get any better than that. We're going to miss this guy.
Yeah.
Wonderful tribute, guys. Thanks for that. Want to move on to Syria, as Rob mentioned. Mark, you mentioned just a few seconds ago, we're trying to get the latest information because things are changing constantly. The biggest development today has to do with Russia, one of Syria's closest allies.
You know, I'm thinking that the president is going to make his address at 9 o'clock, and he's probably on his 6th version of the speech, because things are changing, and you have to factor them into the equation. As we speak, there are 9 senators who are putting together a bipartisan resolution that says we're going to authorize a military strike unless Syria turns over its chemical weapons to the United Nations. What that does is a huge, change, and not just in the Middle East region, but across the world. What it says is that Russia did the right thing by stepping forward with a possible diplomatic solution.
Right.
The Chinese are putting pressure on Syria to accept the notion of that resolution. Israel is breathing a sigh of relief because now it says we might not have to put up with these chemical weapons from this madman. And America looks best of all because we precipitated all of this. This might just work.
Will it, though, Charlie?
Well, it's unlikely that ultimately it will. As you know, there are an awful lot of moving pieces in the Middle East. They never seem to work out the way people hoped, intended, and thought they would. But the president's speech tonight is a very interesting thing, and Mark is correct. They're probably on their 10th redraft of this, and they'll have a couple more before they go on the air tonight. This was supposed to be kind of the denouement for the president in making his case to the American people and to the Congress.
Should he delay the speech, Charlie?
No, I think it's right to go ahead with it, but it wasn't going so well for the president and the Congress. The AP, I think, was reporting that there were 11 yes votes for his resolution in the House, a lot of undecided and some in the middle, but an awful lot of opposition, bipartisan opposition, to America going in to a situation, basically a civil war, where we can't legitimately define our interests there. And that still, I think, is one of the apex questions that has to be answered. I agree with Governor Singel that this may put this off for a little bit. Frankly, I think it makes Russia look stronger, which isn't necessarily a good thing. And ultimately, I'm impressed by the fact that Ronald Reagan's words keep ringing in everybody's ears when it comes to these folks. Trust but verify.
All right, John Kerry, Secretary of State John Kerry said just moments ago, Syria must do more to declare its chemical weapon stockpiles and sign this international treaty. Is that something that the president's going to address tonight? Should the U.S.?
Oh, absolutely. I think that the second piece of any resolution, the second piece of any demands that America makes has got to be, and by the way, don't you ever think of using chemical weapons again. Because what that does is gives us the unilateral authority and the moral authority to go in. So part of the resolution that I hope we see is not just having Syria declare its stockpiles and put them under UN, but agree never ever to use them again. And if you do, the president has the authority of the Congress to take you out, to let the missiles fly. And I think that that's strong, and yet it's diplomatic at the same time.
All right, we are out of time. You okay with that, Charlie?
I'm good.
All right.
Thanks, guys. And of course, the president's speech tonight at 9 o'clock. You can catch it right here on CBS 21. Meantime, you can see our political insiders every Tuesday on CBS 21 News at 5:30.